Welcome to the Conclave.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Conclave Podcast. It may have taken us 6 takes to get that line out, but I'm fairly certain from here on it's going to be gravy. So it is our 20th episode. Just first off, wow, this year is going way too flipping fast. Second off, that means this is a Am I the Asshole? Now, we're going a little bit differently because we didn't get this one off of Reddit. It's not necessarily an Am I the Asshole story.
It's definitely somebody who's an asshole.
Yeah, but I think throughout the rest of this, I'm going to go ahead and take and play devil's advocate because otherwise it's going to be a really, really fast episode. And they might like that, but I'm not going to like that. So, first off, I want to give credit to where we got the story from, and that is Ashley Inc. off of TikTok. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but she does spooky, scary story time, covering anything from supernatural to just creepy roommates and things that are just not 100% right. Um,
I haven't followed her before. I just was scrolling through and found this story last night.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I follow her and I watch her stuff all the time. She tries to post at least once a day. I don't know if she necessarily does or not because, you know, algorithms and when it comes through. Um, but in case you want to go check her out, it is ASHLEEINC on the TikTok. So let's get into the story. So we'll phrase it like an Am I the Asshole? So we'll just phrase it as like, Am I the asshole for cutting off my friend and ditching them as a roommate because she was a fake Etsy witch?
I don't even. I think friend is a strong word. I think she says quite clearly that she was just a roommate, that they are friends.
No. It did say that they were, let's say acquaintances, more of like friends of a
Yeah, like
friend,
they're
but they got
definitely
along
not
more in the realm
friends.
of a roommate rather than, you know, close friends. So they weren't close friends, but they knew each other, they were friendly, and they were able to cohabitate in peace.
Their roommate situation was peaceful.
Yes. Up until Ashley's mommy and daddy, or not, yeah, Ashley. That's TikTok and not the
Okay,
name
we're
of the
we're gonna say
roommate.
roommate. We're gonna call her. I think she's labeled as Lauren in the.
She's Lauren in the thing there. So Lauren turns 30, and mommy and daddy cut her off.
They're like, we're done.
We're done. You got to figure out how to make your own money. We're not just going to pay everything all willy nilly and whatnots.
At some point, your parents die, so like
Well, that wasn't the case in this. The parents did not die.
No, but I'm just saying, at some point, you have to grow the fuck up.
You have to grow up and become a fucking adult, and we've broken it already. It's the fastest. I think we've done it.
No, I think we had a minute in at one point.
Hmm. Okay, so
So
not the
we've had
fastest,
we've had
but
4 minutes
one
of
of
like muttering and stuttering at this point.
yeah, but once I edit out all the muttering and stumbling I did to be able
It
to get the
might
grading
be.
out, it's probably going to be like 30 seconds in, even though it's
No,
four
no, I
minutes.
I think the episode we did on they stole our shit. I think we broke it much faster.
I can see that. I can see that.
I mean, it was like the first sentence after "Welcome to the
Which
podcast."
actually, that is still one of our higher viewed episodes, and
Hmm.
I find that really great. And unfortunately, nobody's really kind of come back and be like, "I don't think you're right on this."
I'm also going to
But
apologize in advance. I am fighting a cold, so I'm going to sound wonky. I'm going to try not to sneeze.
cough. If you do, please do it that way. I have not caught it yet. Don't go and do a heavy breath in my direction. Come on, I saw that coming. How you've been with somebody for too long? Biological warfare.
Yep.
Um, Lauren's parents cut her off. They're not going to be paying for everything anymore and tell her she needs to figure out a way to make her own money. So she does what more people than you would think would do. She turns to Etsy and finds a witch and asks for a money spell, a prosperity spell, and it works. Within a couple days, she wins a radio contest and gets $3,800. Not that goes very far these days, but hey, it's
Still,
something, and
that's at least probably her rent and
it's
some
probably rent
groceries.
for a couple months. Yeah,
Depends on where they live, but yeah.
that's true. That's true. If it's here in Pittsburgh, that's definitely a couple months worth of rent. If they're, you know,
It's at least a month's worth of expenses.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, and that gives her this fantastic idea of let's become an Etsy witch. And the problem is she doesn't practice witchcraft. She's never practiced witchcraft, and now she's passing herself off as a witch. It's almost like we did something like this before, and talked about stuff like this before.
That's kind of why we wanted to do this one, because we have discussed like the Etsy witches and the faux priestesses, and make sure you're vetting who you're getting work from, etc.
Yeah. And as we get into the story, you realize that just because it worked didn't mean you're not getting scammed. Or at least that's what people are going to want you to believe. I'm taking the devil's advocate side to it, and I don't think she was a scam artist. Anywho, as we go on, so she starts this Etsy account. She offers spells, pretty much mirrors exactly what it is the witch that she used has offered on her site. And it didn't go very well at first, and she didn't get a lot of really any customers because breaking into something like this is not as easy as everybody would like to believe it is.
Yeah.
There is a level of trust. Unfortunately, online, that trust is about as far as reviews go.
And as is evidenced by what this Lauren does.
This Lauren is able to do, because she goes on and makes some multiple buyer accounts and leaves herself really great Etsy reviews. And to include, I've been well established in doing this for years and years and years. I just haven't done it on Etsy, so that's why it doesn't look like there's much background on me. So as people then start coming to her and the money starts flowing, and they're asking for prosperity work, they're asking for love work, they're asking for this, that, and the other thing. And what she does is she turns around and she orders that from the original witch that she got her prosperity spell from.
So the original witch is charging incredibly reasonable prices, according to the article, like between like $9 and $12.
Yeah.
For workings. Now, Lauren over here is turning around and charging $80 to $90 for these workings.
Yep.
I mean, clever capitalism, don't get me wrong.
It is. It is. Show me an industry that doesn't have a middleman.
Yeah.
So time goes on and time goes on, and she's making good money on this. And OP doesn't necessarily condone it, actually questions her and says, "Hey, don't you feel bad for what you're doing? I mean, you're scamming people." And Lauren's response was along the lines of, "It's not a scam."
I'm in.
Sorry for the awkward little cut there. Just had a bit of a coughing fit, so we wanted to take that out of the recording. So Lauren was justifying it, saying that they're still getting what they asked for. They are willingly paying the amount, and no one's being harmed.
That she knows of.
Well, so far there hasn't been. She's got nothing but good reviews. People are coming back, and they're happy with the purchase. So, I think this is where we can have a little discussion of, is she necessarily wrong? Is she doing something wrong?
She's still giving money to the practitioner
Mm-hmm.
that initially did it. She's not just stealing their work, she's paying for it. I think it's unethical, especially since they're using. You're like, oh, what industry doesn't have a middleman? Like the Etsy's the middleman. Etsy's the person bringing the service to the people. So no, like it's unethical to be like, yeah, I'm charging you for the exact same spell work by the exact same person that's also on this site that just doesn't market themselves as well.
You don't necessarily see Etsy as the middleman.
That's what all this third-party seller.
Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't say not the middleman. Let's say not the end all of the middleman. Theoretically, when you look at it, our purveyors are the middleman.
Yeah, because they're getting from the suppliers, etc.
Correct. And then there's us. Technically, we're the middleman for the customers, right? So, and again, I don't believe this. I think this person's garbage, but we're going to fight for her anyway because it's more fun that way. So they're not technically harming anybody.
Harming their wallets. Although if you're spending $90 to do a prosperity spell, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
so she's marketing in a way that makes her money. She's paying the money to the person providing
supplier.
the service at the rate which they asked for. Now, if she was then trying to ask for discounts and stuff because she's such a great Customer, okay, now I'll see where we're technically doing something wrong. But is this not just a win-win?
I think it's gray at this point
Mm-hmm.
until we get to the next part.
Well, and that's why I'm having this conversation now, because as we move forward in the story, there's literally no defending it.
Yeah, no, it like I think if she had kept this kind of small potatoes and used this as kind of like a little side hustle to go out to dinner once in a while, still gross, but like meh. But I think the scale on which she does it and the stuff she tries to force through later become incredibly problematic. On top of it, there is an energy theft from the supplier that's happening that she's unaware where that energy is going, which is also like, then don't be an Etsy witch. First off, if you're not certain where your energy is going, you should be sending it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like, in general, everybody in this story is kind of wrong in some way or another.
Everybody's kind of living in a little bit of a gray area.
Yeah,
Except for the customers. Customers are they're not very smart. They're paying that much for it, especially when there's other ones out there that
especially
have
when like
for much cheaper.
you could look up prosperity spells on Etsy and get 15 different shops and have like similar amounts of like good reviews and have prices range from 9 to 900. If you're not certain what you're doing, wouldn't you just pick the $9 one first?
Well, not really, because we live in a
Because
society that
I mean,
has
I'm a
come with
cheap
the,
ass, so I'm going to test the waters first.
yeah, but let's look at this in the range like a restaurant. I can go to McDonald's and off their, I mean, it's not really the dollar menu anymore, but off their cheapest thing, I can get a burger for $1.50, $2, right?
No,
Okay, I can get a burger for sub $5.
maybe yeah.
I can go to my local watering hole and get a burger for $10. I can go to a Michelin star restaurant in New York City and get a burger for $50. We have become a society that understands the more expensive something is, the better it is supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be, because we look at it in things, and I think it's kind of one of the things the restaurant industry has changed about our society, right? Because in that business and as a customer in those levels, you understand if I'm paying.
I also thought I had people paying $50 for a burger. I don't care what.
Well, I don't understand that. I don't understand that either. But when you look at the comparison of quality, right? You got probably
It's
nothing but
perceived quality
well,
over
it's not
price.
always perceived quality. I mean, it's turned into consumers having perceived quality because of price,
Yeah,
right? But the restaurant business didn't start out that way. When you get a burger from McDonald's, that burger's going to be at best somebody else's scraps stamped down into a goo and formed into a patty.
yeah.
When you're paying $50 at a Michelin star restaurant, it's probably Wagyu at the very least, if not Kobe.
Which if I'm
It
going to have
is.
Wagyu, I'm not making.
Oh no, I think honestly that is one of the biggest sins that happens in restaurant land is people turning Wagyu and Kobe into burgers. Shut up, no.
Like,
But especially you can depending on your purveyor, you can trace it back to the farm
yeah,
that this animal came from, which means you could trace it back to the person who gave that animal their pre and post meal massage.
yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna be paying more for that kind of animal, for that kind of care, for that kind of quality.
So why are you going to put it in a? I'm sorry, this is getting off topic.
No,
It
no,
just
no, but no,
enrages me.
it's not though, because it's showing why people will pay the exorbitant amount for an Etsy witch over one that's cheaper.
Yeah,
Because we've been trained as a society to look at higher price, higher quality, higher value, right? Except people don't realize that in this line of work, those who are legitimate
it kind
don't
of
charge that much because there's that sense of I'm helping people.
yeah.
I'm here to provide a service to help people.
It has a tendency to run in the opposite direction.
Yes.
And honestly, when in doubt, if you are trying to get services or work done, find somebody who's middle of the road or averages out at what the other areas, like people in their
Yeah.
area, average to.
Yeah.
That means they're paying attention to the market, the demand, and they're not getting greedy.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%.
So, like, and in something like Etsy, it's hard to navigate. Find something that's middle of the road. If you're trying to do a prosperity spell and you're spending more than $20, why? If
Exactly.
you need a money spell that bad, why are you wasting money?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's counterintuitive.
I mean, I can't argue that. Um,
I agree with a little bit of sometimes you got to spend money to make money, but it needs to be reasonable.
spend money to make money, but at the same time, you can't spend your way out of debt.
Yeah, you can't sink your money down a like black hole.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So playing devil's advocate has kind of gotten us to a point where up to this point, I mean, Lauren's not that big of an asshole.
I mean,
An asshole, yes. She lives in the gray area.
I think it also shows to her personality that like she's going to be one of those people who is constantly moving to the next get rich quick scheme. She's going to be one of those people
Oh, yeah.
always existing in a like ethically gray area
Yeah.
that is 100% about what she can get and
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
no care to the consequences.
Correct. Yeah. Because and at this point, a lot of people are going to use the word fraud for it, but technically, there's no fraud at this point.
She's
Nobody has been.
providing
There's
the
been no
service that
damages.
has been
There's been
asked.
nobody hurt. There's no hurt party. I've been watching a lot of Suits, so that was in there. Um, so technically, she's right. Is it gross the way she's doing it? Yeah, but it's technically right up to this point, and this is where things take a drastic turn.
This part made me chuckle.
So eventually, Lauren gets an email from a spurned lover, a woman
This
who's
girl because my boyfriend cheated on me with her. Or heck's the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like first off,
well, I think that all comes down to
he didn't.
did
He
the
didn't
other
slip and
party
fall
know?
into her vagina. Like
No, but if she didn't know he had a girlfriend,
that's
then
what I'm saying. That's why I was like,
yeah.
the boyfriend is aware that he
Oh,
has a
yeah.
girlfriend.
He most definitely should be on the receiving end
It's
of
like erectile
any kind of crap.
dysfunction spells exist, guys.
I'm not saying you could petition Hera for that, but I'm also not saying you can't. So,
Does UPS.
okay. Somebody came in the front door. It's like, not open, lights are off. What's going on here? So, yeah, I think the anger is already misplaced coming from this customer, but at the same time, you do what the customers ask.
Yeah.
And Lauren's like, okay, cool. She turns to original Etsy Witch, and it's like, hey, I need a hex. My boyfriend cheated, and we need to hex the girl he cheated with. And very rightfully so, Etsy Witch says, I don't do that. I don't like to hex. I only like working with prosperity and healing.
It's like I only do blessing stuff.
And blessings. I do light stuff.
Especially on the internet, I totally get that.
Oh, now listen, we do not do hexes for other people, especially ones we don't know.
Yeah, like have we thrown some stuff? Yes. Has it been justified? We believe so. But I'm not taking on that karmic responsibility because your boyfriend can't keep it in his pants. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
And we turn people down with that all the time.
All the time.
Do we point them in the direction of the tools that they would need to do something themselves? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not putting my energy on the line. I'll be the arms dealer. I'm not shooting the gun.
In fact, I'm going to go out there and say anybody, especially on like something like Etsy, if they're willing and wanting and okay to do a hex on somebody for somebody else
That's a huge
that they
red
don't
flag.
know, that's a huge flipping red flag right there. And this is where Lauren starts dancing into that range of fraud. So
this is where she gets herself in trouble.
she initially goes back to the customer and says,
says the same thing that
mirrors exactly what original Etsy
I don't
said.
do hex work, da 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 da. And the girl's like, I'll pay you double.
So now, can you blame Lauren for
$200
$200
for no work?
For literally doing nothing but being a go-between? I can see how it is very tempting because she's already making massive. I mean, she's making all profits
Yeah.
for the most part.
Seller fees.
$9 out of 90. That's pretty much in calling. One sale is going to cover the cost for a whole lot of people. So,
Right.
so she goes back to the original witch and was like, "How about this? How about I pay you double?" So
Oh,
gives the same offer.
$20.
Right, now we're looking at 18, 20
Look out.
bucks. Woo-hoo. But good on Etsy Witch. She stands her ground and tells her no. Mad respect for that one. I think, in all honesty, I think there are very few full out, true, legitimate practitioners selling on Etsy.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of them.
But also, like, it's $20. Still not taking on that burden
I mean,
for 20
nobody's going
bucks.
to, if anybody takes on a hex for $20, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's real dumb.
That's real dumb. Because you don't know what's going to fly back at you. They don't know if this other girl is a practitioner also and
What kind
warded
of
out the
spirits they.
wazoo and a spirit team that could take on, any apocalypse. There's a lot of questions that go into it. So again, she says, no, we're not playing that. I don't do that. Um, so Lauren says, I don't want to turn down all this easy money.
I'm going to have to pause this because I don't think any of these are ours.
Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry about another odd jump and skip in the recording. If it's even noticeable, we just had UPS come in with about 10, 12 boxes, and it's a little odd when we don't have any orders pending. So they were headed to the bookstore next door for some reason.
Yeah, I think I have an order of essential oils out, which will be a box about this big.
For some reason, people have a difficult time getting to their door instead of ours, and vice versa. For 496 and 494.
Apparently, reading numbers
Very
is
difficult.
hard for
Very
people.
difficult. So anyway, yeah. So Lauren has this opportunity, and she's not going to let it slide out from underneath her. And she says, "Screw it," and took the job. Did she attempt a hex? No.
She didn't do anything.
She didn't do a damn thing but cash the check.
Yeah, she took that money and went straight to the bank.
And I think this was around the same time that OP had questioned her about everything.
Yeah.
Or re-questioned her when it came to this one. And she took the stance of, well, if they believe something happened, then it's okay.
Yeah.
She's relying heavily on the oh good lord, why am I
placebo effect?
Placebo, thank you. For some reason my brain's going pseudo and I'm like, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. Placebo. I've only had one cup of coffee today so far, and my brain is obviously not awake. So she's banking everything on this placebo effect, and it did not work.
Right.
And the girl comes back like, "Hey, I paid you for this. Nothing's happened to her. Um, I need you to either do something else or refund me the money." So Lauren kind of puts together like, okay, if I didn't think the original witch was real and legitimate to begin with, now I definitely do. Because it turns out people will come back to you when something doesn't work or happen the way they want it to. So she goes back to the Etsy witch, and she tries again to get her to agree to doing this hex. But the idiot explains to the Etsy witch what she's been doing. And how do you think that went over, Jess?
Oh, she fucking hated it.
Oh, she was not
She
happy.
was mad.
She was big mad.
Yeah, she was like, all right, so now I gotta undo everything I've been doing for you for like the last however long.
Year, probably at this point, or close to at the very least.
I also feel like, wouldn't it be a red flag if the same person kept coming back to you over and over and over for like various love spells or various money spells? Like,
yeah,
I feel like unless she was doing this from her multiple buyer accounts, which is also possible, that like having more than like one or two orders a month from the same person would be a huge red flag.
Agreed. Um,
I don't know that I would think that somebody was stealing my work, but I would be very confused as to why that was happening.
yeah.
Because I've always also been very adamant with people, like, you need to give things time to work too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just keep piling on top of piling on top of piling, because you need to give the universe time to answer.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so that's
Sometimes moving things into place takes a little bit longer.
yeah. Yep. So, I mean, that's a question mark then, I suppose, when it comes to, unless she was using all her fake
Yeah, like
buyer
if she had
accounts,
multiple buyer accounts, then that's probably what
then that's probably how she was doing it. That's probably why
would like
the
pick
witch
one a
didn't
month
pick
to
up on
use
it.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
So yeah, so witch cut her off, claims that she had to go and undo things, and then just a matter of within days, Lauren had a little bit of an accident. So this kind of tells me that our original Etsy witch doesn't mind doing hexes. She just knows when's the right time to do it and who the right people are to do it for.
And I'm not even convinced that this was a hex.
You think maybe this is universe getting even?
I think this was a rebound. I think this was a rebound when the
Of her undoing everything.
yeah, I think this is when she undid everything.
Hmm.
She traced any rebound energy back to
That could very well be.
Lauren.
That could very well be.
Like which is yeah, I guess is baneful, but it's not necessarily like it's not really. It's just like, instead of me getting hit by all this rebound energy, I'm gonna put it where it belongs, with the person who was fucking scamming everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting thought to it. Yeah, I could see that. Uh, but regardless of what it was, whether it was a hex or a rebound or the universe getting even, Lauren got struck by lightning.
Fantastic.
And I mean, I'm laughing because she ended up being okay, right? So nobody died in this story. Um,
I don't know if anybody learned a lesson, but
I would hope she learned
I think she learned a lesson on not fucking with Etsy witches. I don't know if she ever will learn a lesson on not scamming people. Like,
Yeah,
she seems to be the type that's gonna not pick the proper lesson from this.
probably. You are probably right. And we'll never know because OP has
Cut ties.
cut ties, ended the little bit of friendship there was, got a different I don't know if it was a different apartment or different roommate, but they no longer live together, and there's kind of a separation in there, and really good on OP for that because that's not smart.
Yeah, I'm
None
getting
of
out
that
of
is
there.
good.
Like, I probably would have been making plans to either move out or get a new roommate
Yeah,
when I saw her doing like the Etsy scam in the first place, because this is not somebody I can trust with money.
yeah,
And I can't trust her not to drag me into some scheme, or me becoming collateral damage to some scheme and ending up with people banging down my door because she ripped them off or what have you. Like, I'm not being associated with that because I want to keep myself and my stuff safe. Um, she's the type of person who would take something out of your room, pawn it, and then give you the money and be like, "Oh, well, you weren't using it." It's like,
yeah. I don't think you're wrong.
like that. That's like when she started this, I probably would have been making plans to distance myself from that, especially after I approached her the first time and she saw nothing wrong with what she was doing.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. I mean, once a scam artist, kind of always a scam artist. I
Yeah,
guess
it's one
there's
of those
ways.
personality traits that doesn't usually go away.
That's not to say there's not redemption arcs out there, and it is technically possible, but
But that's not my
and
responsibility to take on for a roommate. Like, I'm
yeah,
not even
exactly.
friends with
Yeah,
this person. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
need to be involved in this drama.
Yeah, I think if her and Lauren were better friends, and maybe.
And maybe she would have done more to hold her accountable, and maybe she wouldn't have
Yeah,
gone down this path. But it's not her business. She's getting her rent money. She just leave me alone.
yeah, exactly. I mean, at that point, it's just my roommate has a job that I don't like
Yeah, I mean,
because like we were discussing, technically there's nothing illegal about how she was doing it. There's
the roommate could have been a stripper,
a
and she could have
more
had an issue with that. Like,
yeah,
but it's still getting her money.
yeah, exactly. So
Not that
yeah,
there's
but
anything wrong with being a stripper. I
no, no, it's
respect
not.
strippers much more than I expect respect fake Etsy witches.
And by that we mean a lot to not at all.
I could not put up with the shit they do.
No. Agreed. And at the same time, I can't put up with the shit that the fake Etsy witches do.
Yeah.
And it's not just fake Etsy witches; it's just all the fake and phonies out there, no matter what social media platform it is, or what
You see it in the
convention you
nutrition
go
game.
to.
You see it like
You see it everywhere.
the medical field. Like it's all every industry has its scam artists.
Yep.
I lost my train of thought.
Everybody.
This is the reason things like the fortune telling laws still exist.
Yeah.
People are like, well, it seems stupid that like Pennsylvania has a law against fortune telling. Until you've run across enough of these people, like this is why these laws still exist.
Yeah.
Like the one that there was one that got sued because like the person sank like 10 grand.
Yeah, that was down in Washington County.
Yeah.
Not sued. They're
arrested.
doing time.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
doing time because she fraudulently kept telling this guy like, "Oh, I'll do a reading for you. Oh my God, you have an attachment. And if you pay me this amount of money, I can undo that attachment."
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work, but if you pay me this much more, and it just kept going and going and going, and with readings in between and everything like that. Next thing you know, this poor guy has dropped over 10 grand, and there's not a damn thing wrong with him in the first place. This is just a flat out scam artist who deserves to be behind bars. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. I support the fortune telling laws as a practitioner, as a shop owner, as connected to the group that just won Best Psychic Tarot Readers in Pittsburgh for 2025. I support these laws because there's a lot of fraudsters out there, and they make all of us who are legitimate
look bad,
look horrible, unbelievably horrible. Do we stay within the confines of those laws? Heck yeah, we do.
Yeah, everything's for entertainment purposes only, guys.
Everything is sold as curio. And on top of it, when we do our readings, I don't know about you, but I flat out explain to people, we're going from point A to point B. And if you don't like point B, everything in between are stepping stones. So change the way you react to the stepping stone, and that's going to change the outcome because the future is never set in stone.
Free will still exists.
Free will is definitely a thing.
Like, for me, readings are kind of like, oh, here's some things that might get in your way, or here's some blessings that might come your way that you need to be prepared for. So that you can respond appropriately to get to the best possible outcome.
Yep.
It's not saying that I will get the best possible outcome. It's saying that here's some steps you can take to get there.
Exactly.
Or to avoid it.
Yep.
This outcome.
Yep. And, when it comes to our other services with Reiki, if it works for you or not, at the very least, you're getting an hour of relaxation, meditation, and or a nap. Our house cleansings. If it doesn't work the first time, I come back until it's done.
Yep.
Free of charge. For those very reasons. And it drives me insane that there's those who are fighting to get rid of these laws. Why?
I think
why are you so afraid
I think
of a law
some of
that
the
should
laws are
pertain to
too
you?
nebulously phrased, and that's the issue. I think having more clearly defined statutes.
That's possible. It's been a while since I've read the
actual. I think there's probably some issues in wording and things that could be a little more overarching than they need to be.
Well, I think it's also the way some people go about it and being, I'm going to air quotes out there for who aren't watching and who are just listening, air quotes. Those who are fighting the good fight do so for clout and to pick up sales and pick up social media cred and all that kind of good stuff.
Very much so.
I'm a firm believer, and this goes with any law. If you have nothing to hide, you have no fear of the law. And maybe that's because I'm a middle-aged white dude, and it's easier for me to have that stance than for other people. I understand that, but if you're doing everything right, and you're doing everything by the law, you should have no fear of the law. And in these kind of situations, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
We don't hide what we do. We do it loudly and proudly.
We get trophies for it.
We participate in the community. We're parts of a nonprofit that's community driven. Speak in front of the council, the borough council on occasion. So it's we're out in plain sight, and we still have nothing to hide and nothing to be afraid of. So nobody should. Nobody should if they are legitimate. So if and that goes back to our original Etsy, which she's absolutely. If the story is real, that is absolutely 100% a legitimate witch. Anybody that has potentially gone against her, double think
Yeah.
your
Double,
motives
double,
there,
yeah.
because lightning. That's an impressive outcome of some lightning.
Right.
So I guess we don't really need to discuss on who's the asshole or not, because we've kind of done it throughout. But you know, Mother Nature and or Zeus kind of did that for us with that lightning bolt.
Could have been Thor. Could have been a numerous amount of people. You just want to pick Zeus because you like throwing out with him.
He's fun, and he has bad rap.
He's a man whore.
Point to a god that isn't, unless it's a virginal, a
Damn
virgin
it.
god.
Are you kidding? Even they get around. They just get around to the other chicks. What was that?
Okay, so we're gonna fill you in. I don't know if that was caught.
I just heard the cackling. You just heard a kid laugh, right?
I heard mm-hmm, and then a cackle.
Yeah.
I can't wait to record this, or not record this, but edit this, and see if that was picked up by the microphones. I heard it in my headphones,
I heard it in the
so I'm
headphones
really
too.
hoping it did. Um, I'm getting some goosebumps right now. Hopefully that is caught and recorded, because that's one of the clearest pieces of
EVP I've ever heard.
EVP I've ever heard.
Wonder if it's Matthew.
It sounded more feminine than childlike to me,
True.
and it was anybody but the virginal goddesses. You're like, they just deal with women. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's super cool, and there's nothing that we can do or say to beat that.
So,
So we're gonna end it
on that
here.
note,
We're,
it's
we're
a
gonna end
short
the
one, guys.
episode.
We're gonna go investigate to see who's hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, it better be on there.
Right?
It better be on there. If not, we're gonna look like a bunch of frauds that are trying to drum up.
Just cut that part.
Heck no. All right, guys. So, like I said, we're gonna cut that there, because I'm just a little like. um, please do me a favor, if you like the episode. Uh, Smash all the buttons, do all the things. Um,
Let us know.
like, share, subscribe. We are on all the major podcast sites. Um, we didn't publicly actually announce this. So for those of you listening who are customers of ours at the shop, or who went ahead and jumped on Pittsburgh City Paper's website and helped vote in the best of, we did end up winning first place for Best Psychic Tarot. We got second place for Gift Shop. I'm not a big fan of that category, but it's the closest thing that a metaphysical shop really kind of fits into. And we got second place for Best Holistic Medicine Shop. And to all those out there who participated in this, we can't stop thanking you guys enough. It's humbling, and it's
And our friends at
able to
Arlene
just
Spirit
yes.
Cast
Oh yes, yeah,
got
yeah. And
third
Arlene
place.
got third place for best podcast in Pittsburgh. So
Since they've been on the show and
they've been on the show. One of the sisters once, the other twice.
Yep.
So a big shout out and a big thanks to all of you who helped participate in that. And on that note,
have a great day. If you need any magical items, you can find us at www.themenageriePGH.com. You can also find us there on our social medias at themenageriepgh.com or at themenageriepgh. We don't plug our shop enough.
No, we don't. But if we're now steering you away from potentially scamming Etsy witches, come take us, come give us a look, see what you think. You guys kind of already know where we stand and what our morals and beliefs are. If you don't, go back and rewatch a bunch and re-listen to a bunch of the episodes. You'll get an idea of who we are and if we're somebody you would like us to do workings for you. All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Until next time.